Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video lesson is on spoken English for beginners, and I'm going to show you some basic sentence construction style along with a demonstration with one of my trainers here in CILL. So let me show you my handout that I've created for you, a simple handout for you to see. So I'm going to show you the basic sentence formation for speaking or writing as well, but this is mainly aimed for spoken English. Basic sentence formation in present form and the use of verbs and other stuff. So the technique I have decided to apply here is the technique of verbs and non-verbs. We are not going to learn different types of words like noun, adjective, blah blah blah. We are just going to divide two types of words. One type is verb, the other type is non-verb. Okay, so what is a verb? Verb is a kind of action, right? Like say we talk, we see, we think, these are verbs. So let me show you this handout again where I have shown you the verbs here with examples. Okay, these are verbs. It means action of some kind, and non-verbs include, let's say, nouns, adjective and other stuff. And I have given here three non-verbs like beverage, movie, siblings, and these are the verbs. So in order to understand how to speak in present form and make sentences without mistakes, we have to understand, we can keep this in mind, the formation of verb, the formation of sentence with verb, and formation of sentence with non-verb. So let's say, let me put it this way: when there is a verb, it becomes enemy to auxiliaries like am, is, are. And when there is a non-verb, it becomes the enemy to auxiliaries like do or does. Let me repeat: verb, enemy to am, is, are. Non-verb, enemy to do or does. You have to keep that in mind. This way you can avoid mistakes. And then what you have to do is, we know that there are three types of sentence formation: assertive, negative and question. So for questions, when you have verb, that is definitely do, does, because verb is the enemy to am, is, are. And definitely for negative as well, you have to use do or does. Let me show you this again. I have created this diagram here. Verb for questions, do, does. Even for negative sentences, do, does. For example, I eat, I don't eat. Just not should be added with this one. I sleep, I don't sleep. I think, I don't think. Question: do you eat? Do you sleep? Do you think? So all the verbs come with do or does. Do for, I hope you know, do for those who are not third person singular number like you, we, they, and does for singular number. For example, does he think? Does he eat? And also I have given some examples like I like mango, do you like mango, I don't like mango. So I'm also going to show you some wrong sentences we often make, like I am agree, are you understand, he is go. These are wrong if you remember my lecture here, because verb, agree is a verb, understand is a verb, go is a verb. These are enemy. These should be, according to my technique, these should be enemy to am or is or are. So am or are or is here according to the sequence. So they cannot sit with verb, they are enemies in present form verb. So it should be I agree, do, and verb goes with do or does. Do you understand? So again, does he go? Okay, so otherwise these will be wrong. Look at this part. When it comes to non-verb, this is opposite. That means do or does doesn't have any function with the non-verbs, and they are enemies as usual, as I have said. So what happens? Of course we need auxiliaries, and they are am, is, are, and they are always there for assertive, negative and question, interrogative. Like for verbs, when you have assertive, you don't need any auxiliary verbs. For example, I liked mango. You don't need auxiliaries. You need auxiliaries with verbs when you ask questions or make negative sentences. But for non-verbs, adjective or noun or whatever, you must have an auxiliary verb, and that is am, is, are. Beverage, movie, siblings, these require an auxiliary. For example, this is a good beverage, tasty beverage. This movie is interesting. Is this movie interesting? My siblings are nice. They are non-verbs. So again, I have given three examples of common sentences. I am a student. Are you a student? I am not a student. So these are examples. In this case, you cannot use do or does, like do you a student. It's a wrong sentence. So let me recap quickly before we go to the demonstration part. What did I say? Verbs, they are friends with do or does for question and negative. Non-verbs, they are friends with am, is, are. And verb, they are not in good terms, they are enemies to am, is, are. And non-verb, they are enemies to do or does. I hope it's clear. Now let's see a demonstration with one of my trainers. Oishi will be coming in front of the camera, and I'll ask her some questions. She will give me answer, and you can understand which one is verb, which one is non-verb, because I'll tell you accordingly. Okay, so let's invite Oishi. So I have with me one of our trainers, Oishi Karim. So let me get to Oishi. Hello Oishi.
Hello sir.
So I'm going to ask you some questions. Ready?
Yeah.
For the test? Okay. So tell me, are you an English language trainer?
Yes, I am.
Where do you work?
I work at CILL.
Okay, and how many siblings do you have?
I have only one brother.
What does your brother do?
He's a student.
So do you like teaching?
Yes, I like teaching. That's why I'm here.
Okay. So what else do you like? Like what kind of food do you like to eat?
I like junk foods.
Junk foods.
I know those are not healthy.
Can you give some examples?
Like pizzas, burgers, pastas.
All right. So you see, we have done the conversation, and you can understand, I hope, like say when she talked about pizza, blah blah blah, these are non-verbs. But when she said I like junk foods, like is a verb. Again, when she talked about her brother, a sibling or brother is a noun, but when she says I have only one brother, have is a verb. And what does your brother do? Here, do is the verb in the main action, that is the main action in the sentence. That's why what does he do? But when she said he is a student, again student becomes the main word here, and it's a non-verb, so it comes with is. So you have to remember that when there is a verb in the main sentence, main verb, you should ask questions with do or does, and in assertive form there is no do or does basically. In negative form and questions there is. I hope you liked it and understood my lesson. I'm coming up with more videos, of course. So I'll say goodbye here. Oishi, do you have anything to say?
Yes, of course. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, which is CILLbd, and also like our Facebook page.
I was about to say that. Okay, tada, bye bye. See you some other day.